This is the new entry-level Porsche Taycan rear-wheel drive, and it's very purple. Now in this video we're going to find out if it's the pick of the Taycan range. You see, it's a little bit like the House of Lords compared to the Houses of Parliament. It's the same kind of thing, it's just got less power. So in this video what I'm going to do is talk you through the changes of the other Taycans in the range. I'm also going to take it for a drive. Of course I'm going to launch it, and because it's rear-wheel drive I'm going to see if it'll skid. Now before we get into all of that, please make sure you subscribe to this channel and hit the bell icon to turn your notifications on. That way you will not miss a single upload. Anyway, I'm Matt Watson and you're watching Car Wow, and a very purple car.
Buying a new car? Then head to Car Wow and my team will help you find your next car at a fair price. Car Wow, your one-stop car buying comparison site.
Let's start off by talking about the price, because this entry-level rear-wheel drive version of the Taycan starts from just over £70,000, which is £13,000 less than the next level up, which is the 4S model, which has four-wheel drive. However, this particular car is a lot more expensive than that because it's fitted with loads of options. I'll tell you about the options a bit later in the video and exactly how much this particular car costs. Anyway, if you want to check out the latest deals on leasing for Porsches, just head to Car Wow. Look, we've got loads of them there. And if you click on the pop-out button up there, it should just be popping out now. You can go straight there. There's also a link below the video if you want to use that instead. Alternatively, if you want to do it at a later date after you've watched this video, all you have to do is Google "Help Me Car Wow" and my team and I will help you choose the right car for you and get it for a fair price from one of our trusted dealers. Let's talk about the design. So the Taycan is a great looking car and this entry-level version is no different. What do you think about this paint scheme though? It's called Frozen Berry Metallic and it's an £800 option. I like it, though I don't know if my balls are big enough to spec it in this colour. Imagine turning up at home and going, "Hey dear, look, here's our new Porsche. I got it in violet." Now the entry-level Taycan has contrasting black lower part to the bumper. As a result, it makes this part look like it's protruding. Sort of reminds me of the bottom of a baboon when it's on heat. Yeah, you can't unsee that now, can you? One thing I like about the Taycan being the entry-level version is that the name is simple, Taycan. No Taycan Turbo S with the name just spreading across the back. However, this badge here is upgraded, believe it or not. It's got gloss black paint on it. 150 quid extra for that. Moving down the side, as standard, the entry-level Taycan has 19-inch alloy wheels, though these are upgraded ones. These are £1,800 if you want these 20s. This lower sill here is in contrasting black rather than body coloured. This car also has black accents round the windows. That's a £200 option. Normally it'd be silver. Here at the front, oh, well, I've spotted something which is unusual on a Porsche. Let me just get the Car Wow twiglet of truth. I think this is a fake vent. Yes, it is. It is the only fake vent on the car. Something else I want to show you is this, look. So as standard, the entry-level Taycan has black brake calipers, but you can upgrade them to white calipers. I don't know why you'd want that, because you can't see them behind these aero wheels anyway. But as well as the white calipers, you get a special disc coating, so you get performance brakes. But that setup costs £2,000. It's nuts. Tell you what's nuts as well, that Taycan there, that's 150 quid as well. There's a lot of options on this car. I'll come to more of them later. Here at the front, once again, you got that thing going on with black plastic contrasting to the rest of the paintwork. It's not body coloured like on the Turbo or Turbo S, but it still looks good. And thankfully, these vents at the front, they're real. I do like the look of the front of this car. It's such a great looking thing. Anyway, let's check out the inside. Now we're going to have to switch round because this is a left-hand drive car because it's German. So you'll go around there and I'll meet you inside. So, the Taycan is a lovely place to sit. It's a very nice car. The design of the dash is simple but very Porsche, and it feels high-tech because you've got screens here for your climate and stuff. You've got a really nice digital driver's display here which is curved. The infotainment system itself is relatively easy to use to flip through different menus and it responds quickly. This car's got an extra display for the passenger. That costs you over £700. Wouldn't bother with that because why would you want your passenger being able to fanny around with the infotainment system and change your channels and whichever radio station you're listening to? Anyway, quality in here is far from dreadful. It's absolutely solid as you like. Look at it. And the materials feel expensive. Though I should point out that the options continue here on the inside. This extended leather, which you don't get on the entry-level Taycan or the 4S, costs £2,500. This one has the upgraded seats as well. £1,500. You want the panoramic glass roof, which of course you do because it's blooming lovely. It's over £1,000. If you want the acoustic glass as well to make it nice and quiet, that's over £1,000 as well. If you want auto dimming rear view mirror, that's part of a pack. with the mirrors on the outside as well, like 300 quid. There's so many options on this car, so many. I'm going to reveal the price eventually. It's definitely worth waiting for. Let's talk about storage in here, because even though it's a Porsche and it's sporty, it should still have some practicality. Cup holders here. Deep enough, grippy enough, but not too grippy. Good work. You can fit flasks in there as well. The door bins are large enough for a flask. In fact, look, you can even fit larger bottles like this in the door bin, so that's nice and practical. Under here you get a little bit of extra storage. There's not much space, however you should be able to squeeze your wallet in there once Porsche's removed some money from it for options such as the wireless charging. That's almost £800. Anyway, you do get 12-volt socket and 2 USB-Cs as standard in there. There's a little bit of extra storage through here, look, whee! Check that out. As for the glove box, feels posh, but it's very small. The driving position in this car can't fault though. Look, it's absolutely great, and it's got lots of adjustment in it, and the steering wheel on this car electrically operated. Yep, that's perfect. Now we can check out how much room there is in the back of this Taycan. So let's kick off with knee room. That's actually all right. Headroom, well, it's a little bit tight because this part of the roof arcs in, so you end up hitting your head on it a little bit. Anyone who thinks this car is as big as a Tesla Model S is sorely mistaken. In fact, I think it's a little bit smaller in the back than even a Tesla Model 3. Now, if you want to see my full in-depth video review of the very latest Tesla Model 3 performance, put a little link up there. It should be popping out in the top right hand corner of the screen. Click on that, you can watch the video. Alternatively, there is a link below this video. Now, let's continue by talking about some of the options back here. I love this digital display for the 4-zone climate control, but if you want 4-zone, talking over £400. You want heated seats in all 4 seats? That'd be nice. That's over £300. And then you see this? It's a 2+1 seater here in the back. That's not standard. Normally it's just got 2 seats in the back of the Taycan. For this extra bit, you're going to have to pay an extra £300. And what is it really like if you get to sit here? It's not good. It's not good at all. Still, look, you can fold this down, use the armrest. They've done that thing again where you've got the exposed cup holder. So if you use it as an armrest, you end up with your elbow in it and it's not comfortable. If you need to carry longer items such as skis, you can fold this bit down and have them through there, and 2 people either side. And of course, look, you've got ISOFIX anchor points there with covers that remove, which you'll then lose. Sorry Porsche, I've lost your cover. Other practical items, the door bins here in the back are smaller, but still, look, they can just about squeeze my flask in there. Yay. Let's move on to the boot. The capacity is 400 litres, which is all right. You can open it on the button or on the key, it's up to you. The opening is quite wide, so it's not too hard to load, and there's not too much of a lip for a saloon car. You've got some wee storage netties there. There's a 12-volt socket here, little panel here where you can keep some charging cables underneath, but it's a square shape. You've got a hook to hang things off, and you can fold down the seats. You have to get around to the back seats to do it, so bear with me. Hello, I'm still here. All right, there we go. Look, can you see that now? I'll stick my head through so you can see. Hello! Right, yeah, you get the idea, don't you? You can do that. However, if you're an electric car that's more practical, you want something that's an SUV really, don't you? Like an Audi e-tron. I've actually put a link to Audi e-tron just up there. Click that, you can go watch the video review of it. There's also a link below the video. Let's just shut this now and go to the other boot. Because of course there is a front boot, which I like to call a fruit. And here it is. It's got the charging cables in here. That is heavy as the only way I was going to illustrate how heavy this is to throw it at the cameraman and see how far he can knock him. I won't do that, sorry. It's not quite as big as on a 911 or the front boot on some other electric cars, but it's all right. Why do I always get into them? Can I fit? No, I can fit, see. I think it's 87 litres in capacity, so you can fit a carry-on size piece of luggage in here. I'm a little bit, oh no, I'm stuck again. And that brings me on to 5 annoying things about the Porsche Taycan rear-wheel drive. While the turbo versions of the Taycan get air suspension, which can lower itself when you're going quicker to improve the aerodynamics and increase the range, this one is just on steel springs, so it has none of that functionality, I'm afraid. This rear-wheel drive version of the Taycan is the lightest model you can buy. It's only got 1 electric motor, that's the reason. However, it still weighs in at over 2 tons, so yeah, it's definitely a porker. You can't get Android Auto on the Porsche Taycan, even though it's a modern car. It's really annoying for me. In fact, guys, do you have an Android or an Apple phone?
Android.
Well, you got Android. So we've all got Android phones. Looks like we can't be Porsche customers, even though I've actually got a Porsche, albeit an old crappy 996. But still, you get my point, right? This car's real life range wasn't quite as good as I was hoping. For instance, it's got an available battery capacity of 83.7 kilowatt hours. Now, I did a bit of driving for 30 miles on a mixture of roads and used 38.4 kilowatt hours per 100 miles. When I do the maths, that works out to a real world range of 280 miles. That's little over 70% what the maker claims. This may be the entry level Taycan, but it could end up costing you a lot more than you imagine. So I've already mentioned some of the options on this car, but I'm going to give you a few more, such as the Burmester sound system. It's awesome, but it costs £4,000. It's also got automated cruise control with steering assist. That's £1,200. Then there's something called Porsche Electronic Sport Sound. That's £300 and it plays sporty noises when it accelerates through the speakers. Sounds a bit odd, to tell you the truth. This car also has the bigger battery pack for increased range. That's £4,000 and is worth having. However, when you total up everything fitted to this car, the end price, wait for it, £108,000 for this entry-level Taycan you see here. That's 38 grand's worth of options, which is almost enough to buy you a brand new entry-level Cayman. Mad.
It's not all negative though. Here's 5 good things about this car.
Frameless windows on 4-door cars are freaking cool, man. The way the charging ports open is really cool. You do it from inside the car. Look at that. So this one has AC and DC, but come around the other side, you'll see that there is another charging port here on the left. This one is for AC only. So you've got 2 ACs, which is good if you're at home and you want to either reverse in or go nose in. The rear-wheel drive Porsche Taycan holds a record for the longest drift of any electric car. It actually did 210 laps of a special drift circuit at Hockenheim, and the total distance worked out to over 26 miles, which is about the same as a marathon. You can charge this car at a maximum of 270 kilowatts, though that is the maximum charge rate. The more full the battery becomes, the slower the charging is, and obviously you've got to find a charger that can do 270 kilowatts. More likely you'll just be using a 50 kilowatt. Anyway, if you can find a very, very quick charger, you can charge this thing from 5% to 80% full in just 22 minutes. Oh yeah. If you get this car with a normal size battery pack, it has 408 horsepower and 345 Newton meters of torque. If you have the upgraded longer range battery, then for some reason you get more power, 476 horsepower and 357 Newton meters of torque. Now, if you want to know what the power outputs are of the other Taycan models, we're putting them up on the screen here. The editor will hate me for this because it takes a while for him to do, but I can't for the life of me remember all the numbers. Sorry. So some German dude managed to do 210 laps drifting in this car. What can some English dude do? Can I do 2 laps? Let's have a go. Never done it before. Come on, Taycan, don't let me down. Oh. 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 Yeah, it is pretty easy. Yeah. Surprised, actually. And you can do it on the spot. Like you don't know what you're doing as well. It's a lot of fun. It's easier to do it in this, definitely, than the 4-wheel drive version, because that always wants to just kick you straight, whereas this, you know, it's a rear driver, so you can do the silliness. Oh wow. I don't think I could do 210 laps without being violently sick. Not quite as easy to do it as in a petrol powered car, but not too bad. Right, that's enough of that. I definitely am getting a little bit... Let's check out the thing that electric cars are really, really good at. Yeah? Electric cars are all about the launch, aren't they? That's straight line acceleration, and Porsches launch brilliantly every single time. So I'm going to see how quick this thing is to 60 miles an hour and see if I can squeeze out a quarter mile in the space I've got. I've got my specialist timing gear here. I'll just turn it on, let it boot up. This car is supposed to do 0 to 60 in 5.4 seconds, which is a touch slower than the entry-level Tesla Model 3. We're going to see what it really does, because Porsche always understates its car's performance. However, it is a bit slippy out there. It is rear-wheel drive. We're going to do it anyway. Got the car in its sporty settings. Okay, let's do this. Let's launch it. Launch control engaged. Release the brake. No traction issues at all. Oh, yes. What are we going to do? 0 to 60, 5.18 seconds. Felt it change gear there. It's got a 2-speed gearbox. Can I do a standing quarter? Come on, come on, there we go. 13.28. Oh, right braking. Feeling the car's weight there. Quicker to 60 than Porsche said. No traction issues at all. That was amazing. It was snowy yesterday. We wouldn't have been able to do that then. However, if you want to see the Porsche Taycan Turbo S 0 to 60 and standing quarter mile, little link should be popping out in the top right hand corner of the screen. You click on that, you can watch that video. There's also a link below the video as well. Wow, I was impressed with that. Do you need the added performance? Well, do you know what? When you're driving along and you put your foot down, it really does pick up nicely. In fact, I'm going to do it for you. I'm going to get to 40 miles an hour. I'm going to floor it. And you'll see how quickly it gets to 70. So let's say you're joining a motorway. Here we go. That's 70. It's quick, but it doesn't feel astoundingly quick. In fact, it felt a bit slower than the time suggests. The 4S, with its 2 electric motors and added power, does feel quicker than this. It feels more Porsche-like. This hasn't quite got Porsche performance in the way that you feel it, and that is a bit annoying when you're paying this kind of money for this car. It's quick enough for most people, and if you're in something like a Polestar 2 or even the entry-level Tesla Model 3, you're more than happy with the performance. But in a Porsche, you want a bit more. So I'd spend the extra, to be fair. Now, the rest of the driving experience, like the rest of the Taycans really, this is a car that feels absolutely planted when you're going at speed. It really does. It's quiet as well. Only on certain surfaces do you get a bit of tyre noise, but really nicely insulated, relaxing to travelling. You've got a good driving position as well. I like the fact that you sit very low in it and they have quite a low dash, so you get a great view out the windscreen. Reminds me a lot of my Porsche 911 996, actually, the great visibility you get. Sure, you've got some big pillars here, but it's not too bad, and the view at the back isn't the best, but forward visibility is pretty good. So this car is quite easy to drive around town. The suspension, it's firmish, but it's not uncomfortable. This particular car has the upgraded air suspension on it. Shame you don't get it as standard like you do on the higher range models, because it is worth having, because it just deals with bumps nicely. It's a very relaxing car to travel in, and it's got decent performance. The thing I want to show you though, well, show you, let you hear. So I'm going to put that electric sport sound on, so I'm going to actually stop so you can hear it when it's stationary, and then what it's like when you accelerate. All right, because it's a little bit weird. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but you may like it. While I'm at it, we may as well do another 0 to 60. So let's do that. Okay, what I'm going to do, sport sound, you'll hear it go on now. So I'm going to turn it on, see if you can hear it. You can hear it, it's like a humming sound. Now I'm going to accelerate, and you'll hear the noise you get when you accelerate. Ready? Here we go. It's like something out of Star Wars, isn't it? And then when you brake as well, you hear that? At that time it wasn't so quick. Did a 5.2 to 60 miles an hour. Oh, I tell you what, this handles well. The steering's sharp. You don't feel much of the wheel, but it's sharp and it's accurate. And the body just stays super flat, very composed in the turns. Doesn't lean at all. Is it fun? It's more fun to drive than any other electric car, but it's one of the least fun Porsches to drive. That's the thing about electric cars right now. They're just not as much fun as internal combustion engine cars. Would I rather have the 4-wheel drive? I think I probably would. I think it's better all round. I think it's clear. I personally would pick the 4S. I think that is the best car overall in the Taycan range. So then, what's my final verdict on the entry-level rear-wheel drive version of the Taycan? Should you avoid it? Should you consider it? Should you shortlist it? Or should you just go right ahead and buy it? Well, I reckon you should consider this rear-wheel drive Taycan. It's a good car. You're just better off spending the extra money and getting the 4S. I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a like. If you click on that video window there, you can watch a Taycan race against a 911 Turbo S, or on that window there to watch a Taycan race against a Tesla Model S. If you click on that box there, you can go to CarWow to see how much you can save on a new car.